way to save the high street is to make the shopping experience an event. And that's what we're in for by visiting a very special tailor to help us with a bit of field tester consumer advice. Jonathan McIntyre is a military tailor in the British Army. He's also a hunter who makes bespoke traditional shooting clothing. Jonathan is based at the Wellington Barracks right next to Buckingham Palace, and we've asked him to measure up a couple of off-the-shelf shooting jackets to get a sense of sizing, which can be a huge headache when ordering online. Okay, Jonathan, I brought a couple of jackets, off-the-shelf jackets. They're both large.
They are, yes.
Can you just do sort of a bit of a measurement for me and just see whether there's sort of any sort of comparison? But you've already said that there's variation anyway.
So there'll always be a fudge factor, we could put it, or within specification. So the same as anything, you know, whether it be gun making, building houses, garments, there will be a certain amount of plus or minus. But the difference being from one producer to the next, it can be incredibly vast and varied. You can buy a ceiling jacket and it will fit you perfectly, and then next year you decide, I'm going to go buy myself an Allen pen. You buy the same size and it might be nowhere near you, whether too small or too big. So the big thing to look for is the sizes in chest. So it's fine saying it's a large jacket, but what is a large in that line of jacket or that brand of jacket? So from Ridgeline, we can see that across the chest, if we go armpit to armpit, which is always reference point to reference point. So if we take this here and we run my measuring tape across, we are 24 3/4 inches, which is going to be 49 inches for a large, which is quite generous, but obviously we need to take into consideration it's going to be worn over the top of fleeces and jackets, etc. So if we do the same on the Shooter King, which is, once again, it's a large again, point to point, and we are 26 inches. So that's a good 1 1/4 inches, which then equates to close to 3 inches of a difference just across the chest. And then waistline again, these are actually quite generous jackets because you've got the actual draw cords in there, so that's 26 again, and I probably won't be surprised if this is the same. This is 23.5, so it scales down slightly, but not dramatically. And then sleeve, so these are what we call a raglan styled sleeve, where there is no shoulder. As you can see on a sartorial jacket, you've got a shoulder there. On most shooting or field coats, you have a raglan sleeve, which is, it's all in one. There's no yoke to the jacket, it just comes down in one. So we would have to take it from the collar point there and run it down, if it will behave itself. And as we can see here, we have 32.5 inches. And we'll just double check here. And we'll do the same with this one, although it does have a yoke. We'll do the same because it is quite straight cut. It's not sartorial. They don't have a shoulder pad or anything in there, so we can do the same. So we're 32.5 there, so that I don't forget the numbers. And on this, are you ready? We are 34.5, so we're 2 inches longer in the sleeve on this.
So have you got any advice for people for buying online? Because that's where a lot of people are buying their kit now for obvious reasons.
So the massive thing is, there's nothing worse for retailers than they're always there to please, but there's nothing worse than sending something out. Someone thinks I'm a large. I went down to George or whatever and I bought myself a couple of t-shirts on the weekend. I bought large t-shirts and they fitted me fine, so I'll be a large in this Shooter King jacket. The best advice you can do is go onto the Shooter King website, scroll down to the bottom, and there is always going to be a tab there that says sizing guide. Especially with things like European sizes and Scandinavian sizes, you have to be able to convert that from whether it be inches to small, medium and large, and then small, medium, large to European sizes, 32 to 50 and beyond is what it may be. That will then give you the specifications of that jacket, so it will say that a large in that Shooter King, like that, it's the best part of 50 inches close to, that wouldn't necessarily fit me. It'd probably be too big on me. I'm a 40-inch chest, so I would probably be looking at a medium in this jacket opposed to a large. But I would have been guilty of, I'll just buy a large, because that's what 40 inches usually collates to in modern days speak.
I suppose the other option is, when the shop's open, get down to your local dealer.
Get down to your local dealer, and I tell you what, I think that would be an absolute blessing in disguise. When the shop's open, get down to your local dealer. They'll be more than happy to see you, because they've been sat for the past year talking to themselves. I'm pretty sure if you get down to your local dealer, once this pandemic's lifted, you might find yourself getting more than just the one cup of tea while you're making your selection. Think about what you're wearing it. What are you going to wear it with? Are you wearing it over the top of anything? Do you want to have it rolled up in your bag and then just put on over the top should you get caught in a shower? Or are you going to be wearing it as your main stocking jacket or field jacket? Get your hands in your pockets as if you're going to grab a bunch of cartridges and try and take them back out of your pocket, because there's nothing worse than when you're on that glorious 12th and you put your hand in there and it's fine going in, but when you've got 2 cartridges in your hand you can't get it back out. You know, these are all things to try. It might look good, but is it practical? Is it fit for purpose? And is it fit for your style of shooting?
We'll be hearing more from Jonathan in the coming weeks, talking bearskins and how Field Sports Nation members will be in with a chance of winning one of his handmade shooting jackets. To find out more about JM Clean Cut Tailoring, head over to Facebook, Instagram or his website.